Okay, as you can see, it's come together nicely, so all we have to do now is add some of the highlights. You can use some white acrylic ink. You can use actual white acrylic paint. That works pretty good too. Don't use Chinese white watercolor, because all that will happen is it will become mud. It'll pick up the paint already on the paper, and so if you had like green, it'd become like mint green. So it's not good for making corrections at all. But first, I do want to add a little bit of blue to the sphere he's got here. So I'm going to take some of my Viridian blue here. It's kind of a blue-green, it's really pretty. And I'm going to take some water and wash it around this big old white sphere here. Looks like he's going bowling. Alrighty, and I'm going to take a little bit of that paint, add some water to it. I'm just going to do some little droplets here. Little stars, ooh, pretty. And I'm going to take my napkin here and blot some of that out because it's a little darker than I wanted it to be. And I'm going to take my brush here and kind of smear it out. So you wouldn't be able to do that quite as easily with the acrylic ink, so that's why I like using the watercolor too. Just scrub it in there pretty good. Now, it might do really nifty to add a spray here, but you wouldn't want to do that because it would catch all the other areas and kind of undo it. You don't want to scrub with your napkin either, because that'll make little spots and that won't look good. Alright, we're going to let that dry some. And in the meantime, I'm going to take some of the white ink here because we want to make some highlights. And you don't want to go hog wild with the white ink either. Sometimes less is more. You can also use white pens, gel pens, white color pencils. I use all of the above. Got a little white gel pen around here somewhere, but today we're just going to use the brush. Sometimes it looks better. And you can also dilute it. So we're going to take some of the white ink, wash it down. This is definitely one of those opportunities you want to have some nice clear water. I'm going to put on top of the gemstone here, like a little hot spot there. And we're going to come back here and add a little bit of white there. Got a little bit muddy, so you want to be real careful and real sparse using the white ink. And it's good for going over spots that you didn't mean to color on. There's a little white there, little dots for shine. We're on an ink bottle here. Can you see that? And you generally have to go back over it a few times because it does get a little transparent. Use it on the cuff here. Do some little dots. That's why it's good to plan ahead sometimes so you don't have to use the white ink. You can remember where you want your highlights to be. Be mindful of where you put your hand to so you don't smear it. That would be good. Put a little bit of shine there. Some on the eyes. Eyes are really shiny and reflective. I'm not going to do any white on the skin really, because skin isn't that shiny unless it's like wet. So I'm going to only go for the areas that should have a real bright shine to it, like glass or the metal of the table. On the hair, do little highlights here and there on the hair. Just be real gentle. I was pretty good about keeping the light areas in the hair, so I'm not going to have to do too much. There we go. And go back over some of those spots again because they didn't quite shine. A little bit on the plate here. It's nice and shiny. On the table. This is waterproof, so you could theoretically paint over the white again if you wanted to, but again, it makes it start looking like acrylic instead of watercolor, so you don't want to do that too often unless you absolutely have to. Back over some more of those spots. And I think we're gonna do some of the details in the wing now. Get that nice and liquidy so we can do some small stuff. I think I'm going to get a even smaller brush so I can do some extra small details. Let's see. This one is a number 1, so that's nice and thin. And hopefully the bristles aren't messed up. Yeah, it looks good. We're going to come back in here and just add some detail. Brighten it back up. Do some little feather fuzzes. Brighten it back up so it doesn't get too dark back here. There you go. Copic makes some white ink that's supposed to be pretty good too. It's fairly expensive, so I don't have any of it yet, but hope to pick some up next week. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Get some light up here. You could also like do an outline, but I don't think I'm going to do that this time. But I am going to come back and ink it because the Frisket ate some of the ink. There we go. Helping brighten things up some more. It's amazing how just a little bit of extra paint can really make a composition to come together. Just something like white ink. Art's fun that way. Oops, need some more. I don't have to dot the eyes again. Ha ha ha. Careful. You make sure you don't smear anything. So when it's permanent, paint is going to be really hard to get rid of. Get rid of some of the green inside there. I don't suggest doing white washes. It tends just not to work real well. Ends up losing that really pretty transparent quality. You don't want to do it too much everywhere either. Just kind of be a little highlight here and there. Alright, and I think we're about done. Gonna go back over the ink bottle down here. A little bit more shine to it, I think. And let's see. Gonna add some white to the edge of the crystal ball here. Get rid of the green that sunk in accidentally. I'm going to put a big old shine right in the middle. Show that it's kind of crystally. There we go. Alright, I think we're about done. We're just going to let this dry, and I'm going to come back with my ink pen and re-ink some lines to help darken them up, and we're almost finished. See you in a bit.